Get ready to be amazed by the artistry of master pumpkin carver Barry Brown. His intricate pumpkin designs are truly one of a kind. And we're in luck today because he's going to give us a few tips and tricks on how to carve our pumpkins. Let's go talk to him. Alrighty guys, with all the pumpkins around us and all the beautiful patterns that you see, who made those? Well, we got him right here, the master carver. How you doing today, sir?
It says so right there, pumpkin carver.
It's insane. That is, so what does it take to be a master pumpkin carver?
Well, they say with anything that's master, that it takes about 10,000 hours of practicing that skill to become a master.
How long does one pumpkin take? Like, for instance, that guy right next to your head.
Well, that's a big boy. That's about 27 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a foam pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have to rush. It took me several weeks to carve that. It's fairly intricate.
Absolutely.
And it's a little awkward. I like to carve in my lap.
Okay.
That's the safest way to carve. But my lap's not big enough for that one.
Right.
So I had to kind of, juggle in a way. And that made it a little bit challenging. But generally, I can carve a pumpkin anywhere between 5 minutes. I had to carve one on a TV show in 5 minutes.
Whoa.
Or some of these, take hours.
Right, absolutely. And do you have any tips for people who carve pumpkins just for fun? Or?
I do. There are 3 secrets of pumpkin carving.
Oh, okay.
And the first one is to carve in your lap.
Okay.
The second one, well, it's not really one of the secrets, but see how beautiful this top is on this pumpkin? It's such a beautiful shape and color. And look at that stem. I just love that.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to mess it up.
Okay.
A lot of people traditionally cut around the top and they take the lid off. They use the handle and well, I like to open it up from the bottom.
Huh.
And so I've started that a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You can see, I cut half the circle and then I cut it in half and I push that piece in.
Gotcha, okay.
And look how thick that is. Do you see it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's super thick. So I carve around the other half of the circle and I pull that piece out, because otherwise my hand would get stuck in there trying to carve that one piece and pull it out. All right, look how thick this pumpkin is.
Oof.
That's a lot thick.
Oh yeah.
But I have this great saw that I use that's a thicker, longer saw, so it's great for the bottoms of the pumpkin.
Gotcha.
Once you get open the pumpkin, then I use this scraper scoop to scoop everything out.
Right.
And what's great about that is it fits all the way inside the pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
Now a pumpkin this size I can scoop out in about a minute because this pumpkin is so thick. Of course you want to get all the strings out.
Right.
Because those decompose really quickly.
Of course.
But we want to have the pumpkin last as long as possible. But the scoop can thin down the pumpkin.
Oh,
and
okay.
that's best for carving. That's one of the secrets, is to thin the pumpkin down where you're carving. This is a piece that I carved and then I thought, that's too thick.
Right.
So I thinned it down with my scooper and then it got to be this thick. That's a lot easier to carve. We want to be safe and successful.
Of course.
So the way that we carve is straight up and down.
Gotcha.
The saw is strong when it's straight up and down, but it's bendy when it's sideways.
Right.
And with carving in our lap, we can practice straight up and down. I have another pumpkin that I've been working on. You want to tape your pattern on, cut off all the paper that you don't need.
Gotcha.
And then here's the transfer tool. And I want you to practice transferring, making little holes through the paper right around there. You want to try?
See that? Sure.
And you don't have to go all the way in. You're just going through the paper into the skin of the pumpkin.
Gotcha.
All right, so see then how that those little dots are?
Yeah.
So here's a tip. Now we poked them pretty close together.
Right.
But if you can't see them, here's a little trick. You take some flour on there. Now rub that in there and see what happens.
Oh, would you look at that? Oh. It
See
just
how it
highlights
turns white?
Yeah.
It's like a little magic trick. So then you can see the holes better,
Huh.
and that helps carving. So what I do is I say wherever I'm carving is the North Pole.
Okay.
I carve straight up and down at the North Pole.
I see what you're
Instead
saying.
of carving like this.
Right.
So if I carve straight up and down, my fingers are gentle, my hand is gentle, my wrist is gentle, and I'm just sawing straight up and down like a sewing machine or a jigsaw.
Gotcha.
Yeah?
Right.
So that's the second secret, is to saw straight up and down. And then we just saw dot to dot.
Gotcha.
And Ron, the third secret is don't try too hard.
Okay.
Because if you're sawing like this,
That's what you need.
it's just a
Okay.
little thin piece of metal.
Yeah.
And it will break if you break it.
Right, of course.
Once you get a piece of pumpkin carved, you might have the impulse to push it in with your saw.
Right.
But it's just a little thin piece of metal. So you don't want to do that. You want to put your hand on the inside and wiggle that piece up and down to make sure it's carved all the way through.
Right, yeah.
So then you push it up and out with your finger. Ta-da!
This skill took you all over the United States.
Yeah.
How did you end up here in Silver Dollar City?
Well, I had a website on the internet. I have a website. And I got a call from Silver Dollar City, and they said, we're doing a pumpkin festival. Would you like to come down and be involved? One of the reasons they had me come down is because I don't carve anything scary.
Right.
This is a family-friendly place.
Absolutely.
And a lot of kids are coming around, so we want to have happy things happening.
Of course.
So a lot of the pumpkins that I carved, I did 700 pumpkins around here.
Wow.
Birds and flowers and happy faces. It's just such a cool setting, and especially when the lights go down and the colored lights come up on the trees, the pumpkins are glowing, and that's really the whole reason, Ron, that I carve pumpkins, is for the light to shine in the darkness.
Now, I remember I came out here, I interviewed you last time, and the one thing that's sticking to me, that's looking to me all the time, is the book. This wasn't here last time.
No, my friend Jeff and I wrote this book about the pumpkin kid. It's about a little orphan boy in an 1880s village,
Okay.
and he has a little shack behind the candle factory. He picks up all the misshapen pumpkins that are left over after the harvest, and he carves them for his neighbors, the blacksmith, the tailor, the wood carver.
That's sweet.
He brings them to their little shacks and lights them up, and it kind of lights up their hearts. And so it's another story about the light shining in the darkness.
For anybody that wants to find out more about you or about your book itself, do you have anywhere they can go look you up?
Yeah, I have a website. It's barrybrowncreative.com.
Barry
So
Brown
that's me,
Creative.
barrybrowncreative.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Barry. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Ron. I'm glad for you to be out here.
Absolutely.